2024 has been a bumpy ride for Maryland volleyball. After finishing 500 or better in the last 3 seasons, an underwhelming stint in Big Ten play has put that streak in jeopardy. But with a young core starting to form, a brighter future could be in store. We'll break down all of that and more coming up on the Left Bench in Focus.
What got us to that point is just being really solid and steady. Incredibly just thankful for the team effort tonight.
Welcome back to the Left Bench in Focus, presented by Terrapin Sports Central. I'm Daniel Stein alongside Brendan Weissel. And Brendan, Maryland volleyball returned so many key pieces for this season, but it just hasn't been enough to lead the Terps to consistent success.
Yeah, Daniel, despite the team's high hopes, they are once again dominated by the powerful forces in the Big Ten. Penn State took a trip to the Pavilion on Sunday and proved why they are one of the best in the conference. The Nittany Lions open up with an early lead in the first set and capitalize on a 9-1 run, which hands Penn State the first set 25-13. Set 2, and the Terps trade blows. Maryland had a 19-18 lead, and they were first to 20. Strong defense, including a nice kill by Samantha Schnitter, propelled the Terps to a 25-22 set win. Maryland starts hot in the third, but Penn State shuts it down. More the same in the fourth for Penn State, winning it 25-13 and taking the 3-1 match win.
Just couldn't find any sort of offense running, so it's a very good team. We know we're not a top 5 team, but some positives and some things that we obviously would have liked to execute a little bit better upon, but obviously understand Penn State's a very good team.
To help us break down the season for the Terps, Christian Andriolas, the volleyball beat writer for WMUC Sports, joins us in the studio. Christian, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you guys for having me.
Coming into the season, there was a lot of talk about the veteran experience on the team. Despite that, the team struggled in conference play. Why do you think that is?
I feel like it hasn't been much of the returners that have been the problem. It's been the fact that there's been a lot of injuries to the team because 3 or 4 players have been ruled out for the season due to injury, and it's just hard to build camaraderie when you have a bunch of lower class players and then a bunch of people who have been there for a while to come together and really mesh. So that's been the hardest part for them.
And Christian, Maryland's struggles in conference play have been well known in 2024, but with a handful of new teams in the Big Ten this year, how has that impacted their performance in Big Ten play?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely hasn't helped because Coach Hughes mentioned before the season that they've all the new teams from the Pac-12 were former national championship winners. And they've gone 1-3 against them this season. So it definitely hasn't been easy having the new teams to play against, but definitely a new learning curve, and they did take a step forward by getting the win against UCLA.
And you mentioned some of those games they lost to the new opponents, and they went on that 8-game losing streak throughout the middle of the season. What went wrong during those 8 games?
It was definitely closing out late in sets. They had a lot of opportunities in a lot of games, especially against Illinois. They got swept, but they had 2 opportunities where they led late, like with 24, and they blew both opportunities. So that has been the main problem all season, is closing out late in sets and building that confidence in each other late down the stretch.
And Christian, a number of Terps veterans are likely gone after this season: Sire, Schnitter, Dowler. So who are you looking for to take the reins for this team in 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, I'm looking at Sydney Bryant, Eva Rohrbach, and likely those 2 definitely, because Sydney Bryant, she was lost to the season due to injury a couple weeks ago, but she was great all season from the outside hitter position. Sydney Bryant, like I just mentioned, she's been very good. Eva Rohrbach at the middle blocker position when Anastasia Russ was out, she's done a great job, and she's also been filling in, splitting time with her as well. And Katie Scherer has definitely come on the scene recently, and she's done a very good job, and she's only a freshman, so she'll be here for a while, hopefully, for the Terps.
So we'll have to see how those players do next year, but there's still a little bit of season left, 4 games to go. The biggest question remains, can the Terps finish above 500 this season? Do you think they can do it? It's
definitely possible, but they'll have to figure out how to win on the road, where they've had kind of some struggles this season. They play Michigan, who's on a 7-game losing streak, so that's definitely an opportunity. And then the following day, they go to Michigan State, who they've already beaten this year, and then they play Rutgers the following week as well, who they've beaten too. And they do come home for a game against Nebraska, but we know Nebraska's a very tough opponent, so that one might be less likely than the other 3, but definitely possible to match that 7-13 conference record from the previous 2 seasons.
Well, that's all the time we have today, but Christian, thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You can keep up with all of Christian's coverage of Maryland volleyball on X at @CAndrielNews or on the WMUC Sports website at WMUCsports.net. Well, now that we have all those questions answered, let's look at how Maryland got to this point in the season. The Terps started 9-2 in non-conference play before facing the strong Big Ten competition. Maryland was competitive in its first 2 matches in conference, losing 2-3 in home games against Iowa and Northwestern. After a loss to Penn State, the Terps won their first conference game against Rutgers. Following the win, the Terps faced some tougher competition, and Maryland did not rise to the occasion. They lost 8 straight matches, and it wasn't pretty, as they won just a singular set the entire time. The past 2 weeks have been much better, though. The Terps got back on track, winning 3 straight before falling to Penn State on Sunday. Maryland currently sits at 13-14 with 4 games to go. They'll have to win 3 to get back above 500.
With no Big Ten tournament in volleyball, postseason action starts on the national scale. But Maryland's odds at making the NCAA tournament are slim. With the sun setting on the 2024 season, Maryland will have to look ahead to 2025, where they'll likely face some key departures. 6 of the 10 Terps who have played the most sets in 2024 are seniors or graduate students, but Maryland has a new core starting to form. Before an injury cut her season short, Sydney Bryant was a formidable outside hitter in her sophomore season. In the Terps match versus Iowa back in September, she set a career high in kills with 24. Also important going forward is Eva Rohrbach, another sophomore who filled in well for Anastasia Russ while she's dealt with injury. Rohrbach also leads the Terps in blocks this season with 92. And with Allie Williams and Jonna Spahn slated to return to the back line in 2025, a new group is coming into view.
Now don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll play a new game and we'll crown our Terp of the year. And of course, count down those top 5 plays of the Terp season. Stay with us.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Welcome back to the Left Bench in Focus, presented by Terrapin Sports Central. I'm Daniel Stein, that's Brendan Weissel, and for the last half of the show, we got a new game in store. We call it 2 Terps and a Lie.
Yeah, Daniel, let's do it. Here's how it works. Our executive producers, Ricky, Alex, and Nate, chose a couple Maryland volleyball players or coaches and found 3 fun facts about each of them. Except there's a catch. 2 of the facts are true, and 1 of them is a lie. And now it's our job to figure out what it is, which one's true, which one's false.
Sounds good. Let's see the first Terp.
Let's do it. All right, we got Samantha Schnitter. All right, has 6 total 10-plus kill games this season, has a career high of 15 kills, and transferred from Ole Miss in 2023. Wow.
Well, I'm going to rule out the third one, because I'm pretty sure that she did, in fact, transfer from Ole Miss. So I think it's one of these first 2.
6 total 10-plus kill games. I don't know. That seems like a lot, but she's also been having a ton of kills this season, so I don't know.
For some reason, I think the second one is the lie, because if her career high was 15 kills, that would be, I feel like, kind of underwhelming, because Samantha Schnitter has an absolute hammer and usually has a lot of kills in the game. So I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm thinking it's the second one.
And definitely could be, right? Because it could be way lower, could be way higher, right? Could be. So I don't know. Do we have to agree? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go with the first one.
I'll say the second one.
All right, let's see what it is. All right.
Yes.
Daniel's up 1. 22. Wow.
Yeah, 22.
So yeah, that was a safe bet because, right, it could have been way higher, could have been way lower.
Yeah.
So you get the first nod. All right, Sam Sire.
Sire.
Let's see what we got here. Sire is the second all-time in kills for UMD. Played all 112 sets in the 2021 season. Wow. Going all the way back and is a part of the 1,000-kill club. I'm very confident that the last one is true, that she's part of the 1,000-kill club. I'm very confident, but, I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that one's true. So if we want to rule that one out, then it's between 1 and 2 again. Any thoughts on the top two?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the third one is definitely true. This is also a really old photo of her, I have to say. That is pretty funny. Played all 112 sets in 2021, second all-times in kill. I think the first one might be the lie because while Sam Sire is a stone-cold killer, she has also played at a school where there's been a lot of good players at her position. So I'm not quite sure if she's quite at second yet.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you on that going for the first one. The second one, you mentioned it's an old photo. Maybe they pulled it from that season. She could have definitely played all 112 sets in the 2021 season, but also that number could be totally off. So we'll see. I think I'll stick with you. We'll go with the first one here?
Yeah.
All right. What is
let's
it?
see
All right.
Okay.
There we go. She's fourth. Pretty close, but her time is running out, so it's unlikely she'll make it into second. But all right, here we go. You have 2 points. I have 1 as we move into Adam Hughes. What do you know? We have a coach. All right. Was named Maryland's head coach in 2018. Excluding this year, Hughes has led the Terps to an over 500 record in the past 3 seasons. Has never led Maryland to an upset of a top 5 team.
Ooh, okay. Well, Hughes has been here for, I want to say, about 7 years. So this 2018 number sounds correct. Excluding this year, Hughes has led the Terps over 500 record in the past 3 seasons.
We talked about it. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah. So that means this one has to be the lie.
I don't know. I think it's possible he was named head coach earlier than that. I could be totally wrong, though. Let's look at the last one. Has never led Maryland to upset. Maryland's definitely beat a top 5. Well, I know they beat ranked teams. You know if it's been a top 5 team?
They've certainly beat ranked teams. I mean, they beat they beat Minnesota last year, who I think was number 13. But obviously that's not top 5. I don't know on this one. I'm inclined to just think maybe the third one is the lie, but I honestly don't know.
I feel like they've beat a top 5 team. I don't know. Was named 2018. It's hard to go back. I mean, I wasn't here in 2018. Neither were you. As much as I've looked into it, I think I'm going to go with the first one. I think that is the lie.
All right, I'll disagree. I'll say the third one. I think
all right,
is the lie.
This could be the deciding vote here. What do we have? Oh my God, I'm getting destroyed here. And they have. They beat Wisconsin number 2 in 2021.
Number 2 Wisconsin in 2021. We played them this year, and it did not end super well for us. That's a really good accomplishment for Coach Hughes right there. Wow.
That was very well done, and I'll have to give the win to you. We'll be back here at some point playing another game, but for now, I'm certainly the loser, and that's all we have time for two Terps and a lie. Hopefully this game will make a return, though.
Hopefully. It was pretty fun. Well, now it's time to hand out some awards. While this year has been difficult for Maryland volleyball, one of the team's shining stars has been graduate outside hitter Samantha Schnitta. She's our pick for Terp of the Year. Schnitta has been a force on the outside this season, racking up a team-leading 335 kills and placing second on the team in digs with 187. But where Schnitta, the hitter, has really stood out is at the service line. Her 77 service aces not only lead the team, but also the entire country. Schnitta's outstanding season also set a new Maryland record for service aces in a season. Congrats to Samantha Schnitta on being named our Terp of the Year.
All right, we have our Terp of the Year. There's just one thing left to do. Let's look back at the top 5 plays of the season.
Let's do it. I'll get us started. All right, at number 5, we have Anastasia Russ. In the middle is where she is, and she just slams that ball down, looking like me in pool basketball, an absolute hammer.
Let's go to number 4. We talked about how good Sydney Bryant was earlier in the year. Look at that cross-court kill against Rutgers, a big game they won early in the year. For a while, their only conference win.
Such a good player, Bryant. And here's Sydney Dowler with a little surprise attack there. Sydney Dowler, so dangerous in the middle. What a play by the 5th year.
Yeah, I caught him looking. Let's stay with Sydney Dowler for number 2. A little bit of a two-parter here. Sydney Dowler gets the dig. Anastasia Russ does the rest of the work. Let's look at that kill one more time, right up and over the defender.
And at number 1, we have Lily Gunter with the dig. What a play, a pancake there. That's not IHOP, but Lily Gunter serving there. What a play by the libero. She's been such a fantastic player for us in the past couple of seasons.
Wow, absolutely well said. there, Daniel. And that was a big win against Ohio State. They got on the road, their only conference road win of the season.
Yeah, it was a great win. That will conclude this edition of The Left Bench in Focus, brought to you by Terrapin Sports Central. Nathan Schwartz and Jonas Evans will be behind the desk after Thanksgiving break.
You can follow all of our coverage on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and X.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.